Every night, something extraordinary happens. You close your eyes. The world around you disappears. And without choosing to, you enter another reality. Sometimes you're flying above mountains. Sometimes you're reliving moments from years ago. Sometimes you're speaking to people who are no longer alive. Sometimes you're standing in places that have never existed. Yet while you're dreaming, it all feels completely real. Dreams are one of the few experiences every human being shares. Whether you live in Australia, Japan, Peru, or Iceland, whether you're rich or poor, young or old, every night, billions of people disappear into worlds created entirely inside their own minds. But why? Why would evolution preserve something so strange? Why does the brain spend nearly 2 hours every night creating stories, emotions, symbols, and impossible landscapes? And perhaps the biggest question of all, why do some dreams stay with us for decades, while others disappear within seconds of waking? For thousands of years, humans have searched for answers. Ancient Egyptians believed dreams were messages from the gods. The Greeks built temples where people slept in the hope of receiving healing dreams. In many indigenous cultures around the world, dreams weren't separated from reality. They were another way of understanding it. Today, neuroscience offers very different explanations. Researchers can observe which parts of the brain become active during dreaming. They can measure eye movements, brain waves, memory processing, even emotional regulation. Yet despite all of our technology, no one can fully explain why consciousness creates these vivid experiences every single night. Could dreams simply be the brain organizing memories? Are they rehearsals for future challenges? A side effect of neural activity? Or is there still something about dreaming that we haven't yet understood? Tonight, we're exploring one of humanity's oldest mysteries, not to tell you what to believe, but to explore the fascinating space between lore and logic. Long before brain scans, sleep laboratories, and neuroscience, dreams were considered one of the most important experiences a person could have. Across almost every civilization in history, people believed that when the body slept, something else awakened. In ancient Egypt, dreams weren't dismissed as imagination. They were recorded on papyrus, interpreted by priests, and sometimes used to guide major decisions. Some Egyptians even slept inside temples, believing the gods would communicate with them through dreams. Healing, warnings, guidance, all could arrive while asleep. The ancient Greeks shared a similar belief. People traveled to sacred healing temples dedicated to Asclepius, the god of medicine. Before sleeping, they would cleanse themselves, make offerings, and hope for a dream that revealed the cause of an illness or the path to recovery. Priests then helped interpret these dreams, believing they contained divine wisdom. Across ancient China, dreams were often viewed as journeys of the spirit. Some traditions suggested that while the body rested, the soul could wander beyond the physical world. It was even believed that waking someone suddenly might interrupt that journey before the spirit had safely returned. In many indigenous cultures around the world, dreams have also held profound significance. While beliefs differ greatly between cultures, dreams are often understood as meaningful experiences that can strengthen connections with ancestors, country, community, or the spiritual world. Rather than separating waking life and dreaming into two completely different realities, some traditions see them as deeply connected. Religious texts also place extraordinary importance on dreams. In the Bible, Joseph interpreted Pharaoh's dreams, predicting years of abundance followed by famine. Another Joseph was warned in dreams to protect his family. Throughout history, dreams have been described as messages, prophecies, and moments of guidance. Whether those messages came from gods, ancestors, spirits, or the subconscious depended on the culture. But one thing remained remarkably consistent. Across continents, across thousands of years, humans rarely believed dreams were meaningless. Perhaps that's because dreams feel different from ordinary thoughts. Some remain vivid for decades. Some leave us with powerful emotions we can't explain. Some seem strangely symbolic, and others feel so real that, for a brief moment after waking, we're unsure which world we truly belong in. Today's science offers very different explanations. But before we explore what modern neuroscience has discovered, we first need to understand how history tried to decode the language of dreams. If dreams were messages, then someone had to learn how to read them. For thousands of years, dream interpretation became an art in its own right. Ancient civilizations created entire guides explaining what different dreams might mean. Dream books from Egypt listed hundreds of dream symbols. A crocodile could represent danger. Clear water might symbolize renewal. A snake could mean protection in one culture, and deception in another. The meaning often depended less on the dream itself, and more on the beliefs of the people interpreting it. Centuries later, dream interpretation took a dramatic turn. In 1900, Austrian neurologist Sigmund Freud published The Interpretation of Dreams. Freud believed dreams were the hidden language of the unconscious mind. According to him, dreams weren't random. They disguised our deepest fears, desires, memories, and emotions behind symbols. A staircase, a key, a house, a journey. Each object could represent something far more personal beneath the surface. Not everyone agreed. Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung believed dreams reached even deeper. Rather than reflecting only personal experiences, Jung proposed that dreams connected us to what he called the collective unconscious, a shared reservoir of ancient symbols and archetypes inherited across humanity. This might explain why people from completely different cultures dream about similar themes. The wise old guide, the shadow, the child, the endless journey. Whether Jung was correct remains debated today, but his ideas still influence psychology, storytelling, and even modern filmmaking. History is also filled with famous dreams that appear to have changed the world. In 1865's chemist Auguste Kekulé dreamed of a snake biting its own tail. When he awoke, the image inspired his understanding of the ring-shaped structure of benzene, a breakthrough in modern chemistry. Inventors, artists, writers, musicians, many have claimed that their greatest ideas first appeared in dreams. Paul McCartney famously said the melody for Yesterday came to him while he was asleep. Mary Shelley described the inspiration for Frankenstein arriving after a vivid dream. Coincidence? Creative problem solving? Or something more mysterious? Perhaps dreams allow the brain to make connections that our waking minds never consider. Today, most psychologists no longer use dream dictionaries to predict the future. Instead, many see dreams as highly personal. A spider in one person's dream might represent fear. For another, it could symbolize creativity, patience, or even a childhood memory. The meaning isn't found in the symbol alone. It's found in the dreamer's life. As fascinating as these theories are, modern neuroscience has taken the study of dreams in an entirely different direction. Instead of asking what dreams mean, scientists began asking something even more fundamental. What is the brain actually doing while we dream? For most of human history, dreams were explained through mythology, religion, and symbolism. But over the last century, scientists began asking a different question. Instead of asking what dreams mean, they asked, what is the brain actually doing while we dream? The answer began with sleep itself. Sleep isn't one continuous state. Throughout the night, your brain cycles through different stages, each serving a different purpose. One of these stages is called REM sleep, rapid eye movement. During REM sleep, something extraordinary happens. Your eyes dart rapidly beneath your eyelids. Your brain becomes almost as active as it is while you're awake. Yet your body is temporarily paralyzed, preventing you from physically acting out your dreams. It's during this stage that our most vivid dreams usually occur. Modern brain scans reveal something equally fascinating. The emotional centers of the brain become highly active. The amygdala, which processes fear, excitement, and emotion, lights up. Meanwhile, parts of the prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for logic, planning, and critical thinking, become less active. This may explain why dreams often feel completely believable, no matter how impossible they are. You might breathe underwater, meet someone who passed away years ago, walk through walls, or suddenly find yourself back at school decades after leaving. While dreaming, your logical mind rarely questions any of it. Scientists also believe dreaming plays an important role in memory. Every day, your brain absorbs an incredible amount of information. Names, faces, conversations, emotions, experiences. During sleep, especially REM sleep, the brain appears to sort through these memories, strengthening some, discarding others, and connecting seemingly unrelated ideas. This could explain why solutions to difficult problems sometimes appear after a good night's sleep. Dreaming may help us organize information in ways our conscious mind cannot. Some researchers even believe dreams act as emotional therapy. They allow us to safely revisit experiences, process difficult emotions, and reduce the intensity of stressful memories. It's as though the brain becomes its own overnight counselor. Yet, despite decades of research, one question still remains unanswered. Scientists understand how dreams happen far better than they understand why they exist at all. Why create stories instead of simply processing memories in silence? Why do dreams feel so immersive? Why do some remain unforgettable while others disappear before breakfast? The deeper neuroscience looks, the more mysterious dreaming becomes. And there are some experiences that remain especially difficult to explain. Lucid dreams, shared dream reports, recurrent dreams, and those rare moments when a dream seems to blur the line between coincidence and reality. Those mysteries are where science still has questions, and where our journey takes us next. For all that neuroscience has discovered, dreams still refuse to give up all their secrets. Even today, there are experiences that leave both scientists and dreamers asking the same question. How do we explain this? One of the most fascinating is lucid dreaming. This is the rare moment when someone realizes they're dreaming, while they're still inside the dream. Some people can even influence what happens next. They can fly, change the landscape, speak to dream characters, or deliberately wake themselves up. Brain scans suggest lucid dreamers are in a unique state, partly asleep, yet with areas of the brain associated with self-awareness becoming unusually active. Then there are recurring dreams, the dream that returns, again and again, sometimes for years, being chased, missing an important exam, losing your teeth, falling, arriving somewhere completely unprepared. Psychologists often suggest these recurring themes may reflect unresolved emotions. Perhaps the most remarkable thing about dreams is not that we've explained them. It's that after thousands of years, they still refuse to be fully understood. Today, we know more about the sleeping brain than any generation before us. We can watch neurons fire, measure brain waves, map REM sleep, study memory, track emotional processing. Science has revealed incredible insights into what happens while we dream. Yet one mystery remains. Why does consciousness create these extraordinary worlds at all? Perhaps dreams are simply the brain organizing memories. Perhaps they are rehearsals for future challenges. Perhaps they help us process grief, fear, and hope. Or perhaps dreaming is one of those rare places where science and mystery are not enemies, but companions. Throughout history, dreams have inspired religions, masterpieces, scientific discoveries, personal transformations, and countless questions. Whether those dreams came from gods, the unconscious mind, or billions of neurons communicating in extraordinary ways, they have shaped human history. Maybe that's why dreams continue to fascinate us. Not because they always contain hidden messages, but because they remind us how much of ourselves remains unexplored. Every night, we willingly surrender consciousness. For several hours, We enter worlds with no physical laws. We meet impossible people, visit impossible places, experience impossible moments, and then we wake up, returning to ordinary life as though nothing remarkable has happened. Yet perhaps something remarkable has, because dreams quietly remind us that certainty has limits, that curiosity still matters, and that some of the greatest questions aren't waiting in distant galaxies. They're waiting inside our own minds. At Veiled Tide, we don't believe every mystery has an answer, nor do we believe every mystery should remain unexplored. The most fascinating place to stand is somewhere in the middle, where history meets neuroscience, where folklore meets psychology, where evidence meets imagination. It's what those feels trying me do, because that's where curiosity lives, not in certainty, but in wonder. Thank you for joining me on this journey through one of humanity's oldest mysteries. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the space between lore and logic